A moment ago with Blaine, Steve, we were talking about the fact that after, over 500 days in office, President Trump has pulled out of a lot of deals, such as the TPP, out of the Paris Accord, and most recently Iran. If he needs to prove that he is the deal maker, that he has trumped himself up to be, if you'll excuse the expression, he needs to get something done here.
We're all hopeful he will get something done here, but there's no track record to merit any optimism that anything will get done. He has not done any international agreements that he's created from scratch. So this is a really tough one, right? I mean, it's very clear that Kim wants to stay in power. He needs to keep nuclear weapons to stay in power. The U.S. is saying you have to get rid of your nuclear weapons or else we won't let you into the international community. So where's the compromise? I don't see the reason for optimism. Of course, we are all hopeful that the deal will get done.
We've got a schedule that the president's going to be leaving Singapore later on tonight, as opposed to the original idea that he would leave tomorrow. And some said, well, maybe that's a good sign because a lot of the hard back-end work has been done by the Sherpas going back and forth, and so therefore he doesn't need to stick around. But from a business perspective, you take a different view, right?
Well, sir, and from my experience in international negotiations, if you have something very tight you can wrap up, maybe you can get that done in a day. But if you're going in trying to make a grand bargain, you don't want to put an artificial deadline on it. So moving the timing up. Now, of course, Air Force One can take off whenever it wants, and the president can stay as long as he wants. But if they do leave today, I would imagine we're going to get a much smaller agreement, something that may be more ceremonial, and that if there is a grand bargain, that's going to come much further down the road.
You're the guy who always looks at these things from a business perspective. Do you feel that political risk for businesses has never been higher?
A political risk continues to grow. My real concern is that we see a collision of worlds. We see a collision of politics in business. We see a collision of culture in business, like with the Super Bowl and the White House ceremony. And now we're seeing a collision of national security in business. You saw Secretary Pompeo say that we should be making trade-offs on China economically to get their help with the North Koreans, and maybe that's what led to the ZTE decision getting pulled back. Well, if we get a bargain with North Korea, we the U.S. get a bargain with North Korea, and we need China's help, does that mean that President Trump's going to go even stronger against his allies? We saw what happened in Canada with the G7. We've got the auto parts and auto investigation, which may come, which would be 6 times stronger than the steel negotiations.
Let's talk more about